don't start thinking that you need to get 8 hours of sleep straight out the box. Let's just manage it.
That's just because it's going to stress you out, right?
It's only going to make matters worse.
Right, okay.
When you're struggling with sleep in the middle of the night and you're wide awake,
you're laying in bed and you're thinking, oh my God, I've got 5 hours left before I've got to go to work.
it's terrible. It's the last, it's a little bit like trying to remember someone's name. The harder you try, the further you push it away.
So would you say in that, what do I do in that situation? It's 2 a.m. in the morning, you've got to be up at 7, there's a flight you're getting on, so whatever.
Yeah.
What should one do? Because from what I was reading in chapter 14, I was hearing that maybe I should get out of bed or not just sit there and ruminate, into the early hours of the morning. Or do I stay in bed and do something? What does one do?
The prototypical recommendation is that after about 30 minutes of time awake, you should get out of your bed and you should just go to a different room and do something like, read a book or listen to a podcast. Don't eat because it then trains your brain to wake up to do that. Don't start working or getting in front of a computer screen. I said listen to a podcast. Sure, just make sure your phone's in. You don't start scrolling any more than that. But you can do relaxing things, stretch, meditate. The reason is because if you start to spend a lot of time awake in your bed, your brain is an incredibly associative device. And very quickly, it will start to learn that this thing called your bed is this place where I'm always awake. And therefore, you start to learn through this repeated loop of behavior that I'm always going to be wide awake in bed. And we need to break that association. And that's why we say get out of bed after about 30 minutes, because you're just training your brain to think that this thing called my bed is the place where I'm never asleep. And we want to break that and only return to bed when you're sleepy. And there's no time limit for that. And that way, gradually, it's much better because you will relearn the association that your bed, just as when you were young, it was guaranteed that your bed is this place where you will always be asleep. The problem with that is many people don't want, it's the middle of the night, it's dark, it's cold. I'm just not going to get out of bed. So what's your what else have you got in your toolbox, Matt? At that point, I would say, okay, that's reasonable. The first thing I would suggest is meditation. I am a hard-nosed scientist. And when I was researching that for the book, I was, I just thought this sounds all a bit woo-woo. And, I live and work in Berkeley, California, which is kind of, the free speech, flower power movement, San Francisco, flowers in your hair business. I just thought this is all a bit, holding hands and singing Kumbaya. This is not for me, this meditation stuff. I couldn't get away from the strength of the data. It was immensely powerful regarding sleep and its benefits on insomnia and sleep. So I started meditating, and now I meditate for 10 minutes before bed every single night. And I've been doing that for about 4 years. So I would say even if it's in the middle of the night, and if I wake up in the middle of the night, I'll start to try to walk myself through a meditation.